I've been doing photography for almost 4 years now, and I'm the kind of person, I like having as little gear as possible. The less choices I have to make means the more photos I can go out and take. So, I've been using this GorillaPod. It's probably an extremely popular tripod that you've seen everywhere. If I were to guess, one of the most sold tripods ever. But I'm here to tell you today why this thing is actually not the best tripod you can get. And I've used it almost every day for the past 3 years, and now I've fully replaced it with a tripod that I think is a little bit better. So, let's check it out. Yeehaw! You've absolutely heard of the GorillaPod. It's extremely versatile, really simple, and does a lot of different things. However, it does have its own faults. This is the Mantis Pod. It is made by PGY-TECH, and it comes in a somewhat inconspicuous box that shows some of the features that it has. It has a little sticker holding it together that shows how to operate the tripod, which is very simple. And as soon as you get it out of the box, it is ready to go. There's nothing you need to assemble and nothing you need to do. All that you have to do is unlock the legs, and the Mantis Pod is ready to go to work holding up your camera. So I'm not going to be reviewing these tripods. Instead, I'm just kind of giving you my opinion on why the Mantis Pod is a little bit better than the GorillaPod. There are some differences between the way the tripods work. On the GorillaPod, it is purely a friction fit, and everything just kind of hinges out and it stays in its place, and you can put the camera on it. That's all you have to do. On the Mantis Pod, it's a little bit cooler than that, because everything has a lock on it. So once I move out the arms, it's gonna lock in place. And if I collapse everything together, nothing can move. You actually have to depress the locks to move everything. If you want to move this head, you have to press this button in, and then you can move the head. And everything locks in really, really well. If you're using a heavier camera or a heavier lens, you don't want everything to just be a friction fit, because then the weight of the camera can actually move your tripod. But if you have a lock on the tripod, then it's gonna be a lot sturdier, and it will actually hold the weight of your lens and your camera and your microphone a lot better. So both of these are great tripods, and they do have their place. But I think the Mantis Pod is a little bit better choice for most people. And there's a couple reasons why. On the GorillaPod, over time, it will end up cracking, and mine has started doing that, which is why I was even searching out a replacement for the GorillaPod. The way these little cups fit into the balls just allows them to pop out over time, and when these little cracks form, it loses a lot of the friction that it normally had. So now, you can barely put even a lightweight camera on here without a heavy lens or without a microphone, and it's still going to sag down on the legs. The body of this tripod is made out of magnesium alloy. Now the legs are a polymer plastic of some kind. The mechanism and the lockup being made out of an alloy that's not just plastic kind of reassures me. And not having bendy legs and having straight solid legs does reinforce the tripod quite a bit compared to the GorillaPod. Now, to be fair, if you're carrying this around all day long, the GorillaPod is a little bit lighter, so it's a little easier to throw in your backpack or just have in your bag. On the GorillaPod, if you want to adjust the angle of your camera, you can't just easily do it. You have to move your legs around and actually change the way the entire tripod is oriented. It's just not as stable and simple as it could be. Now on the Mantis Pod, whenever you want to change the angle of your camera, your legs stay the same. They still have the same base and the same support that they always have. All you do is you press in this button and you can adjust the angle of your camera base. It really makes your tripod a lot more stable. I only have one real complaint about the Mantis Pod, and that is the way it directly attaches to your camera. So on the GorillaPod, it's the same on every single side. It's just 3 different legs that all friction fit in, and you can use it in any direction. It does not matter how this tripod is oriented. With the Mantis Pod, it actually has fronts and backs. Now you can kind of decide how you want to grab it, but not every single side is the same. So when you thread it into your camera, it needs to be oriented in a certain direction. And I like having mine oriented with this one single leg towards the front of the camera. The issue that I ran into is that if I directly thread the Mantis Pod into the base of my camera, the threads did not line up. So this tripod was at an angle compared to the camera, and it wasn't gonna work well. Couldn't really hold it, and then all the pivoting of the head didn't line up. There's a very simple fix to this. You can either use a ball head, and if you already own a GorillaPod, then you probably own Joby's ball head. It is a good ball head. Or you can go for a even simpler method and just put on a quick detach camera plate, which is what I have on here. It's a lot easier to pop the camera on and off. Having this little setup right here without the ball head actually makes the Mantis Pod a little bit more compact than the GorillaPod. Now, the GorillaPod can technically do more stuff than the Mantis Pod. I mean, you can take these legs and you can wrap them around whatever stuff you want. I've never really gone out and done that. So while it is a little bit more versatile in the places it can attach to, I think as an all-around use tripod, this is not the best option. When you have 3 strong legs that are just straight normal tripod legs, you can actually use this for a much better grip on your camera. You obviously can use it like a tripod, but the Mantis Pod does have one cool feature that attempts to replace, or at least somewhat mimic, the GorillaPod's feature, but doing it in an entirely different way. And that comes from this one little flip-down hook. And what you can do is you can actually hang this on a ledge. This will hang on the ledge and support your camera. If you are wanting that GorillaPod feature of being able to hang your camera on a weird spot, the Mantis Pod does supply that also. This tripod does go a lot lower than the GorillaPod, so if you're doing some macro photography or some really up-close videography of your hands or something, having a really low tripod is advantageous. It is also a lot better for travel photography since it's smaller and more compact, and you can also put it on a more level spot and have your camera dialed in exactly how you want. Now, while it's true that the GorillaPod does have a little bit longer reach by just like a half of an inch or even less than the Mantis Pod, I don't think this is actually important, and here's why. Whenever you're using a very small handheld travel tripod, you're not normally using it for big boy tripod things. You only want to be able to throw it down on a table and quickly vlog at your cafe in Paris, or just set it down on a little ledge and take a quick group photo. So here I have my tripod. I'm going to set it down on this little table, and I'm going to show you what this angle looks like so you can actually see. Now, while this might not be an ultimate high-rise tripod look, this will absolutely work for vlogging. You can set it down on a table, you can film what you're doing, and then you can just pick up your Mantis Pod and instantly take off and get back to filming. This is what I love about it. The GorillaPod is a lot better at going on uneven spaces like rocks and trees and stuff. It's a little bit harder to control exactly where your camera's at just because there's so much flexibility within the tripod. If you're looking for a versatile, portable, and sturdy tripod, I really think the Mantis Pod is one of the best options on the market, just from the way that it's built and the way that it operates. Now, it is a very basic idea of a tripod. It's just 3 straight legs, but the way these legs are put together and the way that the moving mechanism works and the features that it comes with really sets it above the normal tripod system. If you already own a GorillaPod, I really don't think it's worth completely replacing until the tripod breaks, but if you are looking for an alternative or you want an upgrade, I think the Mantis Pod is honestly one of the best tripods you could use for the features that it has and the way that it operates. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your grandmother and all your photographer friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.